AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Coming right up, another fun varsity sports show.
Hi kids, this is DJ Soulman from the Funk Junkies, and you're listening to the Varsity Sports Show with my man Vince Delicio. And what's your last name?
It's Delicio.
Okay, that's right. That's what I thought. Yeah,
right.
Right. Okay.
You're listening to the Varsity Sports Show, home of Arizona's youth, high school, college sports, and you, empowering education and enabling dreams, right here on KDUS AM 1060 in Arizona. And now, welcome to the Varsity Sports Show.
Happy Saturday. Welcome in. It's early, 8 to 10 a.m., just like always, for the Varsity Sports Show. No Vince once again. No Vince. He's just refusing, I guess, to show up. He's scared. He wants to run away. We're at the Hubbard radio station, as always, in Tempe. Ryan Sikora, we're going to host today, and we're joined by, as always, a bunch of talented interns today. Stephen Buxton, Tanner Tortorella, Bobby Murphy. Guys, it is early. I'm surprised everybody made it here.
You know, it was an effort to get myself up and get out of here, but I'm happy to be here, and we've got a good show today.
And, Stephen, you're kind of one of the newer interns, as everybody is. You were at where? Desert Mountain last night?
I was. They played Chaparral last night, 24-21 win. They're 3-0, and it's been a great season for them so far.
We'll talk to Conrad Hamilton on the Desert Mountain Report a little bit later. Bobby, tell us about yourself.
Oh, this is my first time with Varsity Sports Show, first time on the radio, first time broadcasting. So new to a lot of this semester, but having a lot of fun so far, and it's been great.
Tanner, you drew the last straw.
I'm used to it. It's okay.
Tanner, where are you from?
I am from Gilbert, Arizona, born and raised. So happy to be part of this organization that covers a lot of the high school sports here. And covered a great one with you, Ryan, last night. Soror and Basha, what a great game.
Yeah,
that was.
35-31.
Yes.
Basha took down the SaberCats, just like we get to talk to Conrad Hamilton in Desert Mountain. We'll get to talk to Zak Hill later on. It is a loaded show here today. Lots of coaches calling in, lots of people out and about. It's a long show. We're going to be doing interviews all day. But we'll stay here for a little while. We're going to have a chance to get to know all of us here in the studio. So I guess for everybody, we'll go around the room. I don't care who starts. What is kind of the ultimate end goal for using this internship to get yourself out and about into the super professional world?
Well, I'll start here. With this internship, you learn a lot about the production sides, which I didn't really know before. Always thrown on camera, broadcasting. Did my first broadcasting job yesterday, and Ryan, you did a great job of helping me with that. And it's a really educational experience about learning the ins and outs of everything that goes into production. And obviously, it's a great experience as well, just to learn everything, because with this growing world, you kind of need to know everything in this field. And this has been a great opportunity to do that.
And for me, like I said, this is my first time doing pretty much anything broadcast, camera, play-by-play, color. And yeah, I was pretty much only had experience with digital and photo in the past. So yeah, this is my first time getting a lot more experience with broadcast. So yeah, I just want to get more experience, feel more comfortable doing play-by-play, color, using cameras, just being a versatile journalist where I can do everything.
Yeah, I came over to ASU with the whole goal of getting into broadcasting, but I mean, over here I've been able to get on the call for some games, and I've been having a blast doing cameras, doing some of the technical stuff. It's been a great time so far.
Yeah, I mean, Vince is kind of like to say that we're all Cronkite kids, and everybody in here is a member of the Cronkite School at Arizona State. Tanner's a senior?
A senior.
Bobby, what are you, like 45? You a senior too?
I'm 23. I'm a senior.
Okay.
I graduate this December.
Close enough.
Oh, you're
Steven,
collecting Social Security already.
Steven, you're a junior?
No, I'm a senior.
Steven's a senior too, so I'm the only junior in the room. That's crazy.
Baby junior in the room.
I'm the little guy. Okay. So, I mean, we just talked about what the show is sort of going to be about today, all these sorts of guests. We talked about you guys, your goals, short-term, long-term. We're, a month and a half into the internship, guys?
Yes.
Right? What have we taken away so far, Steven?
It's a all hands on deck kind of thing. Vince wasn't joking about that on Fridays, and I mean, the big thing is just being able to, whether it's some technical thing with Titler or if it's with a camera here and there, just being able to overcome whatever just comes your way and being able to put the show on.
The production side is really the most challenging thing, is what I've found out.
Yeah, and like Steven said, I mean, all hands on deck. Didn't realize how much the technical directors did until I noticed that they really do everything. But yeah, just for me, just getting into pretty much everything that we've been doing so far, just getting a lot more comfortable and feeling good doing what we've been doing so far.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Sammy, shout out to Lofton. Those two guys are wizards when it comes to setting up production-wise. I owe a lot to the hectic Friday nights that we've experienced so far to them. They have helped so much during this experience and really teaching us a lot. You know, they're very kind, very understanding that we're all new here. So we couldn't do it without them, and they've taught me a lot, you know, with cameras, technology, you know, all that.
Yeah, Tanner brings up a couple of our really talented production members, and it takes a village, right? You've got 4 people here in the studio today. There's 30 interns, something crazy. It's a really big undertaking to be. I think we were at 6 or 7 high school games last night. Vince was up in Vegas with a crew. A couple weeks ago, Vince was in Hawaii, of all places. And that really allows us to get through what is a packed show here today. We're supposed to talk to Bennett Solomon, who's our Florida guest, in a couple of minutes here. Who knows? It's 11 o'clock on the East Coast. Maybe Bennett's not up yet, not an early riser. So we'll see. Obviously, Jason Jewell's going to come in for the Brophy Broncos report. We're going to get a chance to talk to a flag football coach. Girls flag football new to the state of Arizona this year. Crismon head coach Jason Hall, not Jason Jewell. He's the Brophy head coach, is going to come in and have a conversation with us around 8:30. Top of the hour at 9 o'clock, we're going to get a chance to see Andy Litten and Horizon. We'll get a chance to obviously talk to Tanner's head coach, Zak Hill. We're going to get a chance to talk to Conrad Hamilton of Desert Mountain. Arcadia's Jeff Alba. They beat Ben Franklin, Bobby, 31-14. Loaded show. So many coaches, so many great segments from our intern team. It is a really fun, really packed 2-hour extravaganza on our hands today. While we hang out for a little bit and wait for Bennett, I guess I want to ask Steven, you were at Desert Mountain Chaparral yesterday. Really good game, yeah?
Yeah, it was a really good game. Coming off last week, I mean, Desert Mountain had, I didn't keep track exactly, but it must have been well over 150 yards in penalties, and Coach Hamilton really emphasized how much they need to clean that up. And, you know, they had a few here and there, but they managed to keep it a fairly clean game, and they overcome some adversity throughout the game. One went down a couple times, and they just managed to gut out a really good one.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is a Desert Mountain team that seems to be really talented so far this year, and they're going to have a very successful season, just like Sora. Arcadia looks to be kind of on the rise as well. Again, we're going to get a chance to talk to all of those coaches throughout this 2-hour show, but first up, we're going to go outside the state. That feels a little weird to me, but we're going to go to the East Coast. We're going to bring in Bennett Solomon, who's out of the University of Florida. Way more humid there. He's our intern in Gainesville. Bennett, you on the line? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
There we go. Bennett is finally in here. Bennett, this is Ryan. Vince has decided not to be here today. He was scared of having a conversation with a guy who's related to Gators. Joining us in the studio, we've got Stephen Buxton as well as Bobby Murphy and Tanner Tortorella. I know you're here to talk a lot about Florida football this week. They play McNeese State, I believe, right?
Yep, you are correct. Home opener tonight against McNeese State, looking to get back on track after losing to Utah in week 1.
Is that a game where you think Florida and Billy Napier are going to try and maybe tone it back a little bit? Are there things to fix mistakes that they can really work on?
Yeah, it's definitely a game where mistakes need to be fixed. It's a confidence booster game. McNeese State fell to Tarleton State last week. You know, if this is not a 3 or more touchdown victory for the Gators, you know, there's some questions that would rise if that doesn't happen. This has got to be a dominant game from the Gators because next week they play Tennessee, you know, one of the top teams in the country right now. They need to dominate McNeese State today to gain some momentum going into next week.
And what were some of those things from that Utah loss? It looked like from what we were able to see, Utah kind of just manhandled them on the line of scrimmage. Is that something that you think Florida needs to better that identity up front?
Yes, I definitely think so. And, you know, Utah is a very, very solid team. Do not get me wrong. However, Story of the game was no run game for the Gators last week. Last year, Trevor Etienne, Montrell Johnson combined for 1,560 yards on the ground. What did they combine for last week? Just 31 rushing yards. Ground game has to get going today from those two specifically. It's looking good for the Gators, though, tonight. McNeese State, gave up 210 yards on the ground. But, run game is something that's got to get going tonight for the Gators to have a chance next week.
Hey, Bennett, this is Tanner Tortorella. I want to talk about a little bit about the running back situation. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so like I said last year, Trevor Etienne, Montrell Johnson Jr., the pretty main running back duo here down in Gainesville. They work well together. They had very successful seasons last year in their first years with the team. And then coming into their second year, possibly one of the best running back duos in the SEC. So it's them two. They are the stars in the backfield. But like I said earlier, just nothing going, last week. So this week is very important for them to get going. Last year, Trevor Etienne, 719 yards on the ground, and Montrell Johnson Jr., 841 yards on the ground. That's the situation. They are the go-to guys in the backfield. So that's the running back situation.
Things to work on for Florida in the running back room. They have had a lot of success there over the years. Bennett, thank you for stopping by here this morning. I know it's early. What is it, like 11:10 local time? Hard to get up that early, right?
Not too bad, but it's game day. Everyone's up. We're excited for today.
Yeah, thank you, Bennett, for coming in. That was the UF Report with Bennett Solomon here on Saturday morning. Again, a loaded show. We start in Florida. We're going to move our way west after this, I promise. Getting the high school stuff, go from there. We got a segment about the Dbacks on the way.
Hi, I'm Kobe Van Nort from the Varsity Sports Show. Today, we're going to be talking about the NL wildcard race and what the Diamondbacks' potential path to the playoffs looks like. With the Major League Baseball season wrapping up, the NL wildcard race is as tight as ever. As of September 6th, the wildcard standings are as so. The Phillies are currently leading the pack 5.5 games up, with the Cubs not too far behind them, securing the second wildcard spot, but only 3.5 games up. The third and final wildcard spot is where things get a little bit more interesting. Currently, as it stands, the Reds have the third wildcard spot, but they are only leading both the Marlins and Diamondbacks by half a game. And don't forget about the pesky San Francisco Giants, who are only 2.5 games out. The Diamondbacks have a tough road to finish out this season. The Dbacks have 7 more matchups against the current second NL wildcard team, the Chicago Cubs, and have a 3-game series later with the Houston Astros. The Diamondbacks have the 15th hardest remaining schedule in all of Major League Baseball. The Cincinnati Reds, who currently have the third wildcard spot, have it a lot easier to finish out this 2023 campaign. They have the 25th hardest remaining schedule. On top of this week, potential Rookie of the Year Corbin Carroll was hit in the wrist by a pitch in Wednesday's day game against the Rockies. The expectation is that he is going to be day-to-day and should just be a sprain. But with that being said, the Diamondbacks have a rough road ahead in their race to make it to the playoffs. But they have shown flashes of greatness this season, and we will have to see if they can do it again in the month of September. With the season that they have put together so far, they definitely have the fans of Arizona baseball excited to see what they're going to do next. This is Kobe Van Nort with Varsity Sports Show, signing off.
We'll do what's best for the team, and we'll do what's best for you.
The Rich Eisen Show, coming to you weekdays from 3 to 5 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and KDUS1060.com.
I'm Shea Garrett from the Varsity Sports Show, and I am looking forward to immersing myself in high school sports in the Valley. I have a passion for sports and storytelling, and I am so eager for a chance to combine these two this season.
Training Better Athletes was founded by renowned football coach Ron Sowers with the philosophy of training well-rounded young people in mind and body. TBA is the go-to for middle schoolers through the pros. Coach Sowers has worked with all sports but specializes in football offensive and defensive line skills training. Whether it's one-on-one or group training, reach out to Coach Sowers at trainingbetterAthletes.com or call him at 602-435-9064. You can't cheat the grind. Hey, local businesses, join the Varsity Sports Show and promote your business on our weekly radio show and game live streams. We have several options to promote your business affordably and reach our incredible audience. Call, text, or email us anytime if you'd like more information on joining our team. The Varsity Sports Show will work hard to promote your business through our audio and video platforms while also promoting all of our young people. 480-779-9437 or email us at varsitysportshow.com. Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show.
James Out West brings NFL, NBA, MLB, and local sports talk to you Monday night starting at 7 on KDUS AM 1060 and the KDUS 1060 app.
This is the Broncos Football Report with Brophy Broncos head coach Jason Jewell on the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060 KDUS, Arizona.
We welcome you back inside Hubbard Radio Studio, the Varsity Sports Show on KDUS AM 1060. Ryan Sikora, Stephen Buxton, Bobby Murphy, Tanner Tortorella, and Jason Jewell, the Brophy Broncos head coach, is on the phone. Jason, how are you this morning?
Well, I'm fantastic, especially after a win, so I'm doing great.
Yeah, 49-7, a fantastic result.
Jason, congrats on the win. Obviously, just about as good of a game as you can play. What specifically stood out to you about the team? I mean, 49-7, seems like everything went well, but did anything really stand out to you?
No, I mean, really, our goals typically every week are the same. It's just like eliminate pre-snap penalties, win the special teams, stop the run and run the football effectively. But, this week, our other one was shut down number one, or at least try to contain number one, Luke Moga, who's a good player. And I think our defense did a fantastic job of doing that. So that was our number one key to winning this week, and defense accomplished it.
And your quarterback, Charlie McGinnis, he's had a pretty good start to the year so far. What have you seen from him?
Wow, man, just the improvement that he's made since last year. He has more touchdowns now after 3 games than he had all of last season. So he had 4 more last night. He was 20 of 24, super accurate. So really, really proud of Charlie. And then the other thing, too, is he kind of deceiving. He's a lacrosse kid, too. He's able to run. He had like 70 yards rushing last night.
Well, you guys are 2-1 so far this year, and you've got a tough opponent coming up against Chaparral in 2 weeks, or in a week. I'm sorry. What do you really want to focus on going against them? Is there anything you want to change, or just keep the ball rolling?
Yeah, I mean, we got to watch a little bit of film today and see what's going on. We have broken out a little bit because it's a short week. The game is on Thursday next week. So, also a mobile quarterback, so I don't know that our game plan is going to be a whole lot different than trying to go against Mogo last.
I think we lost Coach there for a second, so we'll try and get him back. Basically, what Stephen was talking about is a game against Chaparral next week. Should be a big one. Fresh off a loss to Desert Mountain, you got a chance to watch Chaparral last night. What did you think of the Firebirds on the road against Desert Mountain?
I mean, they've got playmakers all over the field. They played a really tough physical game throughout, and their quarterback had a really nice game.
Coach Jewell, you back with us?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, fantastic. I think we were talking about Chaparral next week, right?
Yeah. I said, another neighborhood, rivalry game really for us is how our kids see it. It's a big rivalry between Brophy and Chaparral. We've been fortunate the last 2 years to get a win, and I know that Chaparral will be fired up. Our kids will be fired up, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Hey, Coach, this is Tanner Tortorella. I just want to talk about, week 1 you have a tough loss to Williamsfield. You respond back with 2 back-to-back good wins. How has the team responded to the initial L in week 1?
you guys need to quit bringing up that L. Let's focus on the last 2 wins. No,
Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. So, last year we were unfortunate. We had a bunch of tough losses. And, even against Cathedral, we had a chance to where it could have been, really close in a similar situation. So I think our experience and the number of seniors we have 28 seniors, they're not letting that happen, right now. So just part of the group.
And a lot of your seniors, Coach Jewell, are kids that had to go through what was a rough year last year at times. 3-7, you made the playoffs and eventually gave Red Mountain a really good game. I think I was at that when it was tight down to the wire. Is a lot of this one this year been around the theme of like, hey, let's win our close games, let's get down to the wire and get W's instead of L's?
Yeah, definitely. We returned like 17 starters, and even more that had started a handful of games by the end of the year due to injuries. So, we're very, very experienced. And my old high school head coach, John Bechtold, was the head coach most recently at Coronadel Sol. He told me at the end of the year, he's like, hey, those close losses, while they hurt right now, are going to pay dividends in the future, and they're going to turn into close wins, and that usually means that you're at the tipping point, of the program where, you're going to turn the thing around and go the other way. So, right now, I'm just really happy with where we're at. I'd like to be 3-0, but the reality is we're 2-1, and we have a tough schedule the rest of the way. I think Richard Over, and AZ Central ranked our schedule like the 6th toughest in the state. So, we can't be too high right now. So we can celebrate this today and get through it, but we got to be ready to go against a good Chaparral team, and again on a short week.
We brought up Charlie McGinnis earlier. This is the last one before we'll let you go. Has there been a kid who's really kind of stepped up this year that's kind of surprised you from where you guys were at in spring ball, and then now as the season has started and games have been played?
Yeah, we're really happy with Carlos Estrada, our running back. He was in the top 10 in 6-day in rushing last week when I looked, and he had like 10 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown last night, so real happy with him.
All right, we appreciate you, Coach Jewell, coming in. Broncos are 2-1. They won last night over Sunny Slope, 49-7, a dominant performance here. They are really off to a very good start here in 2023, and I think we got a special little segment on the way from Matthew DeLisio, not Vince DeLisio.
All right, you guys, you are bound to see this. This is my son. His name is Matthew DeLisio. He's a running back on this Cactus Shadows Falcons team. Had some key blocks tonight, had a couple carries. This is the first time I'm interviewing you. How does this feel?
I knew it was bound to happen eventually. Normally I'm holding the camera on that side, so, it's a little different, but knew it was going to happen.
3-0, how does it feel?
It feels great. We've been practicing for this, so, yeah.
What can you say about your quarterback, Donovan Dixon?
He's that guy, makes plays.
He's pretty good, isn't he?
Yeah.
All right, you guys have a solid team, 3-0. Congratulations, Matthew. I'm proud of you, as I am of the rest of this Falcons team. Let's go home.
Yeah, please.
When the overhead lights switch on at Saguaro High School's football field, it'll mark the beginning of a new season for the Saguaro SaberCats. With it comes the familiar sounds of crashing pads, but also the ambient cheers and the clanky metal bleachers. Many of the attendees being parents of those players on the field. At Saguaro, it wouldn't be uncommon for Patrick and Mashla Jones to be one of the many in the stands cheering on their son on the grass. But Patrick and Mashla are not typical parents. They're former athletes. To complicate matters more, Patrick is a former coach. I'm Aaron Decker with the Varsity Sports Show, and I cover athletics across the valley. Today, we'll look at the classic scenario everyone experiences at some point where a parental figure seems to be in coach mode when you just need them to be in parent mode. In this episode, titled Flipping the Switch. Patrick Jones, the father of Saguaro senior Kyron Jones, has never watched a football game, even with his kids playing, from a parent's perspective, he admits. A former high school and collegiate football player, Jones returned to Long Beach Poly High to coach alongside those who coached him. Years later, Jones has taken a back seat from coaching, but that endless perspective is still there following post-game conversations with his son.
One time with Kyron, when I just thought he didn't have a good game, right? Instead of, going to put your arm around him and say, hey, you got to let that go. Now I'm starting to critique the play. It was my wife that brought that to my attention. Hey, sometimes can you just be dad?
Yeah.
Without the kids saying that to you, right? Because I'm pretty sure they all felt that way at some time, right? Can you just be dad?
Right in step with Patrick is his wife, Mashla. The two are very similar. They are both former athletes, Mashla having started in track and field before being a cheerleader. Despite their sports background, Mashla saw a different angle to the post-game routine.
She's always in coach mode. And because the relationship we have with our kids, I can see kind of just a mom can see in their kids' eyes, okay, I've given 1,000% there out on the field. It took him some time to get to that point because he's always in coach mode. But
when Patrick talks about his coaching mentality, he looks back on his time as a coach at Long Beach Poly, where he saw many scenarios in which fathers pushed their sons while finding balance in supporting. One such player being Keon Rambo, a former professional player for the NFL. Rambo, the nephew of esteemed Olympian John Rambo, was under pressure to succeed at a young age.
I think sometimes when you're 16 and 17 years old and the spotlight starts to come on you, that pressure starts to build. And his dad did a brilliant job of just taking that pressure off his son, man, knowing when to push, right, to get that extra out of him, but at the same time knowing when to back off and put your arms around him.
Through the eyes of other fathers, Patrick noticed that it was a fine balance between coaching and support, and knowing what each one of his children needed. The Jones family have 5 kids, all who participated in sports at some point, but Patrick said he learned how to navigate each of his children's needs differently. For his son Thomas, a push may be needed, while Kyron may want a bit of both push and backing off. It's the balance that pertains not just in the social dynamics of what a child needs, but also when coaching is valuable for bonding. Kyron and his father will sit and debate X's and O's, enjoying the banter of dissecting the game of football. So, when the final whistle blows at Saguaro High School's football field and parents begin to make the slow stride to the parking lot, it won't just be the heavy-duty lights turning off, but perhaps the coach modes that linger in every car ride home. An arm around the shoulder of support, allowing mom to just be mom, or dad to just be dad. I'm Aaron Decker. Thank you so much for listening to the Varsity Sports Show.
Heck of a story from Aaron. Kyron Jones, a Saguaro Sabercat football athlete. We will get a chance to talk to his head coach coming up a little bit later on in the show. Zak Hill's going to join us. It is a long show. We are only about 30 minutes in. When we come back, the next block's going to look like this. We're going to bring in Jason Hall, the head coach of the Crismon High School flag football team. They won for the first time in school history the other night. We're going to get a chance to talk to them. Vince is going to sit down with the GCU women's soccer coach Hannah Bolton, and Chris Nieto is going to have a chance to talk about the Tempe Sports Report, all on the Varsity Sports Show, only here, KDUS AM 1060. Stick with us. Fun 90 minutes on the way.
Carving out time in your afternoon for the Doug Gottlieb Show right here on KDUS AM 1060, 100.7 HD2, and KDUS1060.com. Weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m.
I'm Lorenzo Lopez with the Varsity Sports Show, keeping you all informed with sports here around the Valley.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. With an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat. Hey guys, Vince here. I'd like to introduce you to my friend Eric Perry. He owns Eco Roofing Solutions. They're local and a big supporter of high school sports all over Arizona. Yes, they're statewide.
A little bit about me and Eco Roofing Solutions and what we're about. I'm a third-generation roofer here in Arizona, and I've been doing this for 25 years.
Call Eric and his team at Eco Roofing Solutions, 480-695-7736, and they'll give you a fast, free, no-nonsense estimate. Tell them Vince sent you.
SB Nation Radio is now Sports Map Radio, keeping sports content fresh and fun. Join us right here on KDUS AM 1060.
You are listening to the Varsity Sports Show. The Varsity Sports Show. Thursday night flag football game of the week recap. Flag football game of the week recap.
As we welcome you back in, 8:31 local time, and you heard it, it's the flag football game of the week here on the Varsity Sports Show. We've got a chance to talk to Jason Hall, the head flag football coach at Crismon High School. They just got their first win of the season, moved to 1-2, a 7-0 win over Tempe on Thursday. Coach Hall, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Doing very well. Very happy that you guys can come in and have a conversation with us. That was a pretty emotional first win, I'm sure?
Absolutely.
Is it kind of like a big deal almost to get that kind of monkey off your back? You start 0-2, you lose to Ben Franklin and Mountain Ridge, and now you come in, you play Tempe on the road, and it must be great for the girls to get that off their bucket list.
Yeah, absolutely. Just getting over the hump. Mountain Ridge, they scored in the first half on us, and then we held them second half. So 14.5, 14-0, respectable. And then Ben Franklin, we go on the road, and we go up on them 6-0, and we hold them to about the last 5 minutes. And then they score a touchdown and an extra point, so we lost 7-6. So both very close games. So, yes, this was definitely an awesome win for us.
Hey, Coach Bobby here. So in this first win, what did you like from the team, and what do you kind of want to see going into that next week against Casa Grande?
So just execution. My defense is clicking. They're doing really well. We've held last 2 games. We shut these guys out, and just execution-wise, our offense is getting there. So we know the plays, and they know what to do. It's just just the small things.
Hey, Coach, it's Stephen Buxton. Obviously, this is the first year that flag football has been an AIA-sanctioned sport. How excited were you? How excited was the team just going into this year, and even now still for it to be a fully AIA-sanctioned event?
Oh, they're super excited. I have a lot of girls that have never played football before. I have a bunch of athletes, and they're just so excited. They're every day is something new for them. They're learning new things and growing together as a team. We have a team dinner before every game, and they're just having such a great time getting to know each other, build new friendships. And being a new school, it's only a second-year school, so people are still getting to know each other, and they're coming from different areas of the the town. So they're just excited all the way around.
Hey, Coach, this is Tina Tortorella. I just want to talk about, is there anybody that's really stepped up, offensively or defensively that you've noticed that you really want to highlight, especially coming off a win?
Yeah, absolutely. Cassie Mortensen, she's a junior, and she's just so smart. She's so fast. She scored a touchdown for us against Ben Franklin on an RPO. She's a quarterback receiver for us, and then against Ben Franklin, she caught a long pass for a touchdown there. So, and then she also does her kickoffs for us too. So she's a well-rounded player.
Coach, I want to go back to what you were talking about a little bit earlier. You mentioned that your high school, Crismon High School, is really a brand new school. Is that kind of creating like a unique challenge, or like is that really fun for you to not only get to work with a new sport in the world of Arizona high school athletics, but also a brand new institution down there?
Yes, both. It's only a second year, so we're at junior high school, so we have 7th, 8th, and then we have 9, 10, and 11. So we only have the freshman to junior to pull from right now. But it's just neat because we're building a culture, we're building kind of a legacy. And that's one thing I really express to the girls is that you guys are kind of making the first page in the history of Crismon flag football, and just building that legacy for the girls to come that are come after them.
History makers everywhere. For Crismon flag football coach Jason Hall. Coach Hall, thank you for being with us here today early on Saturday.
Absolutely. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, that was the high school Thursday night flag football game of the week for the Varsity Show. Again, Crismon head coach Jason Hall comes in, talks to us after his first win as the head coach of that team. I think we've got a wonderful show the rest of the way. Vince has also sat down with GCU women's soccer head coach Hannah Bolton, so we will go to that now. Take it away, Aaron.
All right, guys, we are coming back this season with expanded coverage of Grand Canyon University Club Sports, GCU Club. It's an amazing partnership that we forged last year. We are very fortunate to be their media provider and covering their programs. There's a lot of exciting sports going on at Grand Canyon University, not just on the NCAA side, but on the club side, and a lot of talent. And joining us today is the coach of the women's club soccer team, Hannah Bolton. Coach Bolton, welcome to the Varsity Sports Show.
Me.
We are so excited to bring the program back into coverage this season, and we're going to be covering some of your program. First of all, let's talk a little bit about your background. Now, you've done 6 years there at the helm of the women's club soccer program. You obviously came from Grand Canyon University, came up through the ranks and played. Tell us a little bit about the culture at GCU and what it's been like to be a part of such a growing giant.
Yeah. I had a little bit of a different background getting to GCU. GCU was actually my third college, so I had my fair share of experiences at other programs and at other universities. And one of my really good friends moved out here. She came to GCU, and my parents were like, why don't you look into that? Why don't you give it a shot? So came out here, not super optimistic, just kind of a grumbly, third school, and let's figure it out. And ended up having an amazing experience. And obviously that's kept me here this long. So it's definitely the people and the culture and just the atmosphere that this university provides is no one can compete with it, for sure.
Well, you're originally from the Pacific Northwest, and Oregon to be exact, and obviously the first thing people point to is the change in climate. What was that like, acclimating to the desert?
It's actually one of the biggest reasons I wanted to come here, is just get out of the rain and get out of the Pacific Northwest. So I don't mind it. I mean, being here 6 years, I'm used to it by now, but yeah, definitely a change of climate, and we're even, feeling that right now. We just started our season this year. We started on Tuesday, and there's plenty of other Pacific Northwesters on our team and from all over the country who are really trying to adjust to the heat right now. So it's definitely a unique experience for everyone who comes here to the desert.
You had mentioned this being your third school that you had attended. You started off at Portland State and then did a stint a little bit at some community college, and then ended up finishing up here. And obviously the growth of athletics in general on the campus of Grand Canyon University, and the resources that are being devoted to growth of the club sports program is second to none, even on a national scale. It's quite impressive. As the coach of the women's club soccer team, you obviously have an opportunity to do a little bit of recruiting, and what seems to be the message that you're passing along to a lot of these young ladies that you're trying to get over to GCU?
Yeah, absolutely. I think given kind of my background and a very roundabout college experience, I think that a lot of people don't consider collegiate club as a real viable opportunity to continue their playing career. And GCU provides a really great atmosphere for that. And I tell a lot of people, a lot of student athletes who are interested in our programs, it's really similar to, an NAIA type experience, just what we provide and what the university provides. We're super fortunate to have athletic trainers and full-time staff that really care about their jobs and about us. And we're super blessed and fortunate this year to have brand new turf at our own home field. So super, super excited about that. And it's crazy to think that when I got here, the field that we're using now, really it existed but wasn't really used. And now it's, a brand new complex for us. So it's pretty crazy to see how much that's just changed and just how much it's evolved over the years as well.
When somebody looks at your program, and you can finish the sentence for me, but when I see women's club soccer at Grand Canyon University, they are known for blank. What is that blank?
Friendships, fun, competitive environment. I think that's really what we kind of live and breathe, is just the opportunity for the friendship, the opportunity to continue to play a sport they love and to continue to find like-minded people in that structure that they've had their entire lives through competitive athletics.
Awesome. Final question, Coach. You obviously can't do this alone. You've got, help in what you do and how you do it. Is there anyone in particular you want to give a shout out to for the commitment that they put into helping this ship continue on?
Absolutely. I mean, our athletic trainers to all of our administrators, to my assistants, I'm super, super fortunate to have two really great assistants right now with Damian and with Brian O'Donnell, and just the experience that they bring. I mean, Damian's a GA and works so hard and learns, and I came up as a GA in my role. So for him to come up and kind of follow my footsteps is kind of fun. And then Brian, he's amazing. He was on the staff with the youth men's national teams. And so just to have his experience and the people he's worked with is an experience that, the girls are super, super fortunate to have.
All right. There you have it, folks. Grand Canyon University Club women's soccer coach Hannah Bolton. Coach Bolton, thanks again for joining us on the Varsity Sports Show. Looking forward to covering you folks this season.
Thank you so much. Go Lopes.
Good day, this is Christopher Nieto with the Varsity Sports Show with your Tempe Sports Report. Upcoming on September 10th is the Tunnel to Towers 5K Run and Walk. Born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation carries forward a legacy of courage and heroism. This event honors 9/11 hero and New York City firefighter Stephen Siller, who unfortunately lost his life on September 11, 2001, after strapping on his gear and run through the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel to the Twin Towers. Go out there, honor and support all those who make extraordinary sacrifices in the line of duty. It will be located at 80 West Rio Salado Parkway. That's all for your Tempe Sports Report. Have a great rest of your day.
Listener rewards for you with the KDUS 1060 app. Download today to hear all of the national and local shows you love. That's the KDUS 1060 app.
Hi, this is pro sport fisherman Ryan Kirkpatrick of Benton, Kentucky, and you're listening to the home of youth, high school, college, and you, the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona.
Hey, local businesses, join the Varsity Sports Show and promote your business on our weekly radio show and game live streams. We have several options to promote your business affordably and reach our incredible audience. Call, text, or email us anytime if you'd like more information on joining our team. The Varsity Sports Show will work hard to promote your business through our audio and video platforms while also promoting all of our young people. 480-779-9437 or email us at varsitysportshow.com. When you think of family restaurants and sports bars, think Bonfire. Bonfire is part of the Tempe landscape, supporting local schools. Join the Bonfire Booster Club Challenge. Mention Corona del Sol, Desert Vista, Marcos de Niza, Mountain Point, or Valley Christian, and that school's sports program will earn loyalty points. The winner after football season will earn a fundraiser at Bonfire. Come for the food and fun, support the community. Bonfire, open every day east of I-10 on Warner. Show your game ticket all day Friday and Saturday and get 15% off. 480-306-6801.
Hey football fans, this is the Rooster, and I'm giving away prizes. So join me this Sunday during the Packers game at Casey Jones Grill, located in Phoenix on 20th Street and Bell Road.
Welcome back in to the Varsity Sports Show on KDUS AM 1060, live from the Hubbard Radio Studio. A little bit under a quarter of an hour left to go in hour number one here. Ryan Score, Stephen Buxton, Bobby Murphy, Tanner Tortorella, and Ray Fletcher joins us on the phone to talk Cactus Shadows football. Ray, are you there?
I'm there. How are you doing?
Good. You were in a prime opportunity to watch a dominant Cactus Shadows win yesterday, 54-19. They moved to 3-0 on the season. I think Bobby's going to open us up.
Yeah, so big win last night. Oh, sorry, by the way. Bobby Murphy, senior at Cronkite. So big win last night, 54-19 over Las Vegas. And, I mean, this offense so far this year has looked great, scoring 54 this week, 62 against West Point last week. What do you like from this offense? And, I mean, how's Donovan Dixon really just been carrying this offense?
Man, Donovan Dixon, I got to tell you, he's something special. And I got to see it in person last night at the game at Las Vegas High School. I did not expect him to play as well as he did. I saw that he put up some numbers last week, but this Las Vegas team is a good team. They've got a good defense. They put up 44 points last week against Rancho, shut them out 44-0. So I didn't expect Cactus Shadows to put 54 points, but Donovan Dixon just had complete control of the game. He was able to do what he wanted. Passes up the seam were just wide open. He was hitting them. And I talked to him after the game. He told me that he saw it on film that the middle was going to be open, and he just took advantage of it. The kid's got a good head on his shoulders for being a sophomore. It was really impressive to watch last night.
Hey, Ray, this is Tanner Tortorella. I kind of want to talk about the energy level. Obviously, you got to travel a lot all the way to Las Vegas for this game. How did you notice the energy level? Was there a difference? Obviously, 54 points, it must have gone pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. The energy was high. It started out a little slow. There was an injury on the very first play of the kickoff, opening kickoff, so it kind of died down for a quick second. But once the game started rolling, it was high scoring from the beginning. Both sides were going back and forth in that first half, and the energy was real high. The team was excited. The fans who were able to travel out with them were excited. And then once Cactus Shadows put their foot on the pedal, it was over, and the energy was just up through the roof.
Hey, Ray, it's Stephen Buxton, senior at Cronkite. Obviously, the offense is the story. You put up 54 points, and everyone's going to be talking about it. But let's shift over to the other side of the ball. This is the second time this year that Cactus Shadows has held an opponent under 3 scores. But what did you see from the defense last night? I mean, 19 points against a playoff team last year. That's a pretty good performance. What stood out to you?
So the defense played really well, especially in the second half. And what I like to see is that they were getting in the passing lanes. Obviously, Las Vegas needed to throw the ball to get back into the game as the lead got bigger and bigger. And Cactus Shadows was able to just fill all the passing lanes. I was really excited to watch Tyler Wood. He was playing a little middle linebacker last night, and I think he had 3 passes defended in the third quarter alone, and he was just all over the field on defense. And he got an interception and was taking it back, and pulled up, got hurt. He should have scored a touchdown on the same play, but he got hurt and wasn't able to finish the play. But he was all over the field when he was out there, and I wish him a speedy recovery because I'd like to watch him again.
Ray, it's Ryan again. Again, thank you for being with us. This is Ray Fletcher for the Cactus Shadows recap of a win 54-19 over Las Vegas High School last night in Vegas. Was there anything that we haven't touched on so far, anything that we haven't asked you that you think is really important for any listener out there to know about Cactus Shadows football this year?
You know, I got to say their coach is an incredible coach. Great personality, able to fire his team up, and I was excited to talk to him last night. I don't know what he's been feeding sophomore Donovan Dixon, but he needs to keep feeding them that, and he's going to lead this team to great places.
What was it like working with Vince down there in Vegas yesterday?
Oh man, Vince is awesome. Vince, coordinated everything, put everything together, and then kind of sat back and did his thing. He's fun to work with. I've worked with him before for some other events, but this was my first high school game with him. So that was a lot of fun. Vince is a great dude.
All right. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate your time.
Absolutely. I appreciate you.
It was Ray Fletcher talking Cactus Shadows high school football, also definitely getting paid off to say what he just said about Vince, you know.
He knows he's listening.
We've got a bunch of wonderful segments the rest of the way. We're about halfway through the show here on Saturday morning. Aaron, what's next? We got Zach Mott, I believe. Take it away.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show. My name is Zach Mott, and this week we'll talk about some breaking news out of Glendale and preview a very pivotal game for the Cardinals season. Well, they say that getting off on the right foot in the NFL is awfully important for the direction of an uncertain team. And on Wednesday, the rumors came to light for the Cardinals that Joshua Dobbs was going to start the Week 1 game against the Commanders. Head coach Jonathan Gannon has said he wants to keep it an open competition week to week in the event that rookie Clayton Tune gives himself a chance to get some playing time. However, the Cardinals, who just 2 short weeks ago looked to be ready to send Colt McCoy to the helm to face his former team, have a completely different outlook now. Speaking of Colt's former team, the Commanders open this week as 7-point favorites against the Cardinals at FedEx Field on Sunday, according to FanDuel Sportsbook. Second-year quarterback Sam Howell was one of the best preseason performers in the NFL and gave Commanders fans a glimpse of his potential as their next face of the franchise. With a look at the Wednesday injury report, Zach Ertz and wide receiver Marquise Brown were both limited in practice, with a knee and hamstring injury, respectively. For Washington, wide receiver Terry McLaurin and defensive end Chase Young were also both limited with a toe and neck injury, respectively. These are key players for both teams whose availability for Sunday's matchup appear very much in the air. Unable to go for the Cards, look for young receivers like Rondale Moore and Michael Wilson to be a big part of the game plan on Sunday. For the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Zach Mott.
This is Jason Goldie from the Varsity Sports Show. No one can dispute that the ASU football team has undergone some significant changes during the past year. With 31 transfers and 20 freshmen and new junior college players, a large number of the Sun Devil team is new this year. I've chosen 5 of the newbies, plus Coach Dillingham, for this no-nonsense summary of their performance last Thursday against Southern Utah. Let's start with Jaden Rashada, the new starting quarterback. Rashada is a freshman out of Pittsburgh High School in California. He attempted 31 passes and completed 18 of them. He threw for 236 yards and 2 touchdowns. He put his strong arm on display when he fired a 55-yard rocket for a touchdown. He also rushed for 2 yards. He did give up 1 sack, though. Running back Cam Scadaboo is a junior transfer from Sacramento State. Scadaboo rushed for 71 yards on 17 carries, including a 6-yard touchdown in the first quarter. He also caught 4 passes for 41 yards. Troy O'Meara is a redshirt junior out of Texas. The only pass he caught was the one that counted, a 3-yard touchdown just before halftime. Redshirt freshman linebacker Tate Romney, who graduated from Chandler High School, transferred from BYU. He tackled 8 Southern Utah players, tying him for the most tackles on the team. The final player we will cover is kicker Dario Longhetto. The graduate transfer out of Cal was perfect on Thursday, kicking 1 field goal and 3 extra points without missing. We finish things up with head coach Kenny Dillingham, who was previously the offensive coordinator for Oregon and who is now undefeated as a head coach. We'll see if that winning streak continues tonight at 7:30 at Mountain America Stadium in Tempe. For the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Jason Goldie.
On Wednesday, San Francisco 49ers defensive lineman Nick Bosa reached an agreement with the team, and it's a history-making one. Bosa agreed to a 5-year, $170 million extension, making him the highest-paid defensive player in NFL history. This comes after Bosa held out all offseason and preseason, waiting for the extension. This deal comes as no surprise to Niners fans, as Bosa in just 4 seasons with the group has made the Pro Bowl 3 times and won the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year award in the 2019 season after being drafted 2nd overall out of Ohio State. The deal is worth an average annual value of $34 million a year, passing Los Angeles Rams' Aaron Donald's $31.6 AAV deal he signed last year. 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan said that he had started to work through his mind of not playing with Bosa as the holdout had gone through Labor Day weekend, but says it is a huge bonus for the team that they now do have him. Bosa's agreement to stay in San Francisco comes just 4 days before the Niners open the season on the road in Pittsburgh, and there is speculation over whether or not he is ready to play. Shanahan disagrees. He believes Bosa will report to the team in shape, ready to play, and he hopes he can get in some practice time before the game this weekend. The Niners won the NFC West Division last year and will look to repeat that starting on the road against the Steelers. From Varsity Sports, I'm Connor Manning.
Good morning, it's Lorenzo Lopez here on the Varsity Sports Show, and today, since we are going on the international break, I am going to be reviewing my predictions from match week 4. Lewin and West Ham did end 2-1, so that's when I got completely correct. Unfortunately, it should not have ended 2-1 because Lewin Town should have had a penalty kick at the end of the match. Sheffield United and Everton ended 2-2. I said 2-1 in favor of Sheffield United, so I was just off by 1 goal. Brentford and Bournemouth was a 2-2 draw. I said Brentford would win this game 3-1. Unfortunately, there's another prediction that just went down the drain. Burnley and Tottenham ended 2-5. Well, I said 3-1 in favor of Tottenham, as it was Heung-min Son who ended up popping off and scoring a hat-trick. Chelsea and Nottingham Forest, I said it would be a fluky 2-2 draw for Nottingham Forest, but it ended up being more extreme as Nottingham Forest came away from the bridge winning 1-0, which I did not see coming. Man City and Fulham, I said 3-0 favor of Man City, and ended up being 5-1, while as I said Haaland would score a brace, he ended up scoring a hat-trick instead. Brighton and Newcastle, I said this game would be 2-2, and ended up being 3-1 in favor of Brighton, as 18-year-old Evan Ferguson ended up scoring a hat-trick, and Saturday ended up being a hat-trick of hat-tricks. Crystal Palace and Wolves, I said would be kind of a boring 1-1 game, and ended up being the opposite. Crystal Palace ended up making it 3-2, and it was a very exciting game in the second half. Liverpool and Aston Villa ended 3-0. I said it would be a higher scoring game, but Liverpool just looked dominant from start to finish. Last but not least was Arsenal and Man United. I said 3-0 Arsenal. It ended up being 3-1. Only if United didn't score, I would have gotten this one correct 100%. To sum it all up, I got 5 out of 10 predictions correct, and only one of them was exactly correct, which was the Lewin and West Ham one. Overall, a rough week, and I am Lorenzo Lopez on the Varsity Sports Show.
Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show, where our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating an unmatched platform to showcase talent both in front of and behind the microphone in radio, television, podcast, and live streaming. The Varsity Sports Show, still your home for youth, high school, college, and you in Arizona and beyond.
Broadcasting from the Superbook Sports Studios, KTUS AM 1060 Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.
Hey folks, I'm Joel R. Lambright with the Varsity Sports Show, updating you about high school and college sports in Arizona and East Texas. You can find me on X at JoelRL News.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, With an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
What's going on, guys? My name is Hannah Bolton. I'm a senior at ASU at the Cronkite School. I'm super excited to be part of Varsity Sports, bringing you all the knowledge that I've learned over the years, covering baseball, softball, football, any sport you can think of, and I'm excited to bring that knowledge to you, the listener.
Thank you so much, Tanner.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
This program is paid for by the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit educational organization, and its partners.
You're listening to the Varsity Sports Show, home of Arizona's youth, high school, college sports, and you, empowering education and enabling dreams, right here on KDUS AM 1060 in Arizona. And now, welcome to the Varsity Sports Show.
You are listening to the Husky Report with Horizon Husky football coach Andy Litten on the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona.
You heard the man. It's the Husky Report. Horizon, 59-0 winners yesterday. Andy Litten is joining us on the phone right now. We're live in the Hubbard Radio Studio. Coach Litten, how you doing this morning?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. We got a bunch of talented interns in the studio this morning that are ready to fire away with some questions following a pretty nice win for you guys last night. Anybody want to start us off here?
Hey, Coach. Bobby Murphy, senior at Cronkite here. So, yeah, these last two games, outscoring your opponents 59-0 and 52-0. Tell me a little bit just about the offense and how they've been running. Of course, you guys have a star running back. How have you guys been running this offense through him?
Yeah, I mean, Bodie did a great job. Our tailback 22 is a sophomore, and he's done a really good job the last couple of weeks. And we take what the defense give us. We went a little bit more through the air last night than on the ground, and that was just more opportunistic, where we were able to diagnose that the defense was giving us a little bit more through the air, and so we took advantage of that.
Hey, Coach, this is Tanner Tortorella. Back-to-back games, shutouts. What have you been seeing from the defense that's been able to lead to the success?
Yeah, so it's really nice on offense when we have short fields and we're able to generate 3 and outs and get the ball back. And we actually haven't been running a whole lot of offensive plays just because of our defense being able to get us on the field and then us being able to make big plays. But I'll tell you, watching last night, our middle linebacker Carson Cole, who's our team captain, he plays from sideline to sideline, and he's an absolute monster in the middle, and it wreaks havoc. And then our front line, our front defensive line gets after it. So I think that we impose our will on defense, and then things kind of piggyback real quickly these last 3 games.
Hey, Coach, it's Stephen Buxton, senior here at Cronkite. Obviously, 3-0 start to the year. Offense is just hitting on all cylinders. The defense is doing its thing. What do you think really is the difference between this year's team and last year's team, and what do you think is really going to get you over the hump in this year?
I think it's experience. 4 of our 5 returners on the offensive line come back from last year. We have 9 returners on our defense that all either started or had significant playing time. And then, our young quarterbacks have done a really good job of knowing the system and getting us in the best situations and really not making mistakes that were being made last year. And that really helped us out. And so I put it down to experience. Now this is 3 years into the program where we've been here, and so kids really understand the system and they love football and they get after it.
And obviously, you mentioned that running game, how huge that's been for you, and that offensive line. How big has it been? Because you guys are a team who's so talented in the trenches, just both ways. How big has that been to the success?
That's where all our success is coming from right now. Is that we have big guys that are able to impose their will, and you've got to account for us. So I'm really interested to see how teams the rest of the way play us, because you can't play us light in the box. And then after last night, when you stack the box, we can flip it out there to some pretty athletic kids. So I think that offensive line-wise, we've really embraced the physicality and ground and pound and trying to be physical. And then defensive line-wise, I mean, we get after it, and we move around and we make things really tough on opponents. And I love what we're doing schematically, and our kids have bought into it and they're playing really hard.
Hey, Coach Bobby here again. So next Thursday, you guys have a huge game against Pinnacle. What do you want to see from both sides of the football to lead that to another win?
Yeah, so, I mean, Pinnacle's a really good football team, and that's a rivalry game on a short week. So we're really excited about the opportunity, but we need to continue to rise up and make sure that we, again, assert physicality, make sure that we meet them on the front line. We think if there's an advantage for us, it would be there. And then, make sure that they're a very athletic, very talented team. And I think that if we have a chance, we need to match up with their skills and make sure that we match what they do.
Coach Litten, back to Ryan again. Again, we thank you for being with us here today. Andy Litten, the head coach of the Horizon Huskies. You go into that game against Pinnacle, still riding the two quarterbacks. What have you seen from that battle between Jace Ashley and Zach Jones?
So I think, like I said, you get kind of two different worlds that you have to prepare for, and I think that they both suit what we do really well. So Jace is your more athletic, dual athlete kind of quarterback where he can hit you with his arm and his legs, and we can extend the pocket with rolling out and doing whatnot. And then with Zach, you have a big quarter. I tell you that Zach would be the 100% our guy if this was 15 years ago or even back when I played, where you want this big, strong, athletic quarterback that can sit in the pocket and pick you apart. I think that they both do some really good things. Zach's a super smart, intelligent kid, and I think that and Jace is a kid that uses his athleticism to his advantage. So I think that having both those kids have really helped us quite a bit.
Horizon Huskies. Coach Andy Litten, thank you for stopping by today. The Huskies are 3-0 on a roll, 177 points for this season. They've only allowed 17. A good start up in the North Valley for Horizon. I think we've got Dorian Zavala up next, a little segment about the Rams.
Hello, I'm Dorian Zavala for Varsity Sports. The 2023 NFL season is set to kick off this Sunday, and while most teams are looking forward to a playoff run, the Los Angeles Rams are just looking to stay afloat. After winning the Super Bowl 2 years ago, the Rams ended last season with a 5-12 record. They were ranked in the bottom of every category on both offense and defense. There was also a lot of turnover with this roster during the offseason. Greg Gaines, Bobby Wagner, Nick Scott, Leonard Floyd were all released, and Jalen Ramsey was traded to Miami. The offseason wasn't all positive for the Rams either, with reports of Matt Stafford not gelling with the new guys, and now a couple days before the opening season, their leading wide receiver Cooper Kupp will not be in the lineup against Seattle. If the Rams are sinking by week 5, do they begin to explore trades for Stafford, Kupp, and maybe Donald? One thing is for sure, Rams fans have a long season ahead of them, and it can get worse before it gets better. For Varsity Sports, I'm Dorian Zavala reporting.
This is the Titan Report featuring Arcadia Titans football on the Varsity Sports Show.
To the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Stephen Buxton, and we've got Jeff Alba from the Arcadia Titans on the line with us. Jeff, congrats on the win tonight, or last night.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, guys.
Hey, Jeff, Bobby Murphy, senior at Cronca here. Always great talking to you. So, 31-14 win over Benjamin Franklin last night. Third straight game, scoring 30-plus points. 3-0 for the second straight year. How has the offense led by Braylon Rooney look so far this year, and what have you liked?
Yeah, the offense continues to do great things out there. The one thing that stood out last night is we were able to kind of have a little bit more of a balanced attack on offense. we have so many weapons out there, on the offense. And, of course, Brady Forrest did his thing and was phenomenal on the ground with a couple touchdowns and got us going in the first half. Alex Alba found the end zone for the first time this season, so got him going. And, again, Braylon just does a great job, spreading the ball around and getting everybody involved.
And, of course, Rooney is able to just extend plays with his legs. He had one big play yesterday to get out of a sack. And then one play after that, Brady Forrest had about a 30, 35-yard touchdown for the first score of the game. And Forrest is such a big part of this offense. But then there's also some of the other guys on the offense. We saw the Who's brothers last night get some yardage. We saw Zach Smith get some reps in the second half. How much does that matter just to get some reps for the other guys on the offense?
Well, it's phenomenal. Anytime you can get, all your guys, on the field to get some reps in and get some game experience is going to be valuable down the line. But I think even more importantly is how we got in that situation is, really I'd like to talk about our defense a little bit this week. They shut out Ben Franklin in the first half, and that really allowed us to get some of those other guys in there in the second half. So, our defense, again, is led by some of these guys. I wish I could have the time to name everyone on defense, but just in the amount of few guys that have been doing a great job these first three games. You got Kari Beeler on the defensive line, Kajai Wilson on the D-line. Pablo Javalera has been phenomenal, just all over the field making plays, in John Coulter. So those are some of the guys that are anchoring the defense, but they've really done a great job as well.
Of course, and that defense has looked amazing so far. Carter Pruitt, who plays two edge, John Coulter has been amazing on the defensive side. And you guys have a big game against Coconino next week, who's coming down from Flagstaff. What do you want to see from this team and Ray Brown's players next week?
Yeah, it just, continue to stay on track. Like I mentioned last week, I think the team does a really good job of just staying focused and taking it one week at a time. We're really happy to be 3-0, but, all that matters is this next game coming up. So we had a phenomenal home crowd, and it was a great game experience last night. So we're looking forward to doing that again on Friday. And one other person I wanted to mention really quickly on the call is our kicker, Garrett Heil, who hit a 40-yard field goal last night for our first 3 points of the game, and constantly gets touchbacks on kickoffs, and he's just got a phenomenal leg, and I think he's going to be a big weapon for us moving forward as well.
Hey, Coach, Tanner Tortorella here. I want to talk about, you mentioned the 3-0 start, but last year the program started also 3-0, then proceeded to lose 3 of the last 5. How do you ensure that that doesn't happen again and you keep the team on the straight path that you guys are on right now?
I think the senior leadership is really the difference, in terms of the guys that experienced that last year and they saw what can happen if you let your guard down a little bit. And, it all depends on the competition as well. We've got, some tough games coming up here against Coconino, and then the following week's going to be at Camelback. That's going to be a must-see game as well. But this team is just focused, and they're working hard, and, they really have their eyes on the prize. But I think the senior leaders are really going to be the difference this year.
Coach Ryan Sikora Jr. at Cronkite, thank you for hanging out with us. I guess the only question I have for Arcadia football and for you guys around is kind of what is the theme the rest of the way this year after the first month of the season?
Well, the theme over the summer, they came up with a motto this year, and it's 100% Titan Trust. And the coaching staff came up with that, and I think that just means, the players trusting the coaches trusting the players, and everyone just really being on the same page as teammates and having that trust and that bond. And you see it. If you watch the players on the sidelines during the game, they're all talking to each other. Players are, helping each other out and really involved in the game. And so I would say just, keeping that trust throughout the rest of the season is going to be the anchor for us.
Coach Jeff Alba of the Arcadia Titans, we thank you for joining us here today, Coach. Thanks for hopping on early this morning with us.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Titans are off to a good start in 2023. We've got a jam-packed final 45 minutes on the Varsity Sports Show. You're listening to KDUS AM 1060. 45 minutes left here on this one.
Have you downloaded the KDUS 1060 app yet? Download today and get all of your favorite local and national shows right on your phone.
This is Conrad Hamilton, head football coach at Desert Mountain High School. You are listening to the Varsity Sports Show.
Coaches, the Varsity Sports Show wants to be part of your team in 2023. We have a proven track record of providing the most coverage of your teams with Thursday and Friday night football. We will spotlight your players with multi-camera game broadcasts, pre- and post-game interviews, and segments on our Saturday morning radio show. With over 100 games broadcast in 2022, we will be exceptional for your team. Call, text, or email 480-220-4629 or info@varsitysportshow.com. Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show.
I'll turn those picks into gold.
Wall-to-wall NFL coverage and the biggest stories coming to you from 3 to 5 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show here on KDUS AM 1060 and KDUS1060.com.
Nobody pray for me. It been a day for me.
Welcome to the Wolves Recap with Desert Mountain football coach Conrad Hamilton.
Wolves recap time, 9:17 local from the Hubbard Radio Studio in Phoenix, Arizona. It's the Varsity Sports Show on KDUS AM 1060. Ryan Sikora, Tanner Tortorella, Bobby Murphy, Stephen Buxton, and joining us on the phone is Conrad Hamilton of the Desert Mountain Wolves. Coach Hamilton, how are we doing this morning?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Really, really exceptional, especially when you hear about the wonderful game that you guys played last night. Stephen was there. Stephen, what do you got for Coach Hamilton?
Hey, Coach, it's Stephen Buxton. Congrats on the win. You guys are 3-0. Obviously, everything's rolling. You guys, it seemed like last week against Sunrise Mountain, obviously the penalties were a problem. You had well over 150 yards in penalties, and it seemed like you guys cleaned it up a bit last night, and you found a way to win a really gritty game. Take me through that. What went into really just cleaning everything up?
Well, we had to be able to improve on, the 150 penalties from last week. I still think, we're not playing a clean game. We're still, committing some infractions that aren't positive for us. I still think we're probably around 9 or 10 penalties again last night. But, again, our kids, they handled some adversity. Last game, Chaparral was a good opponent. Right? They had some good skill players. They played hard on defense early. Made it tough on our offense on the first half. But our kids were resilient, and that game matters to them. That's our number one goal to start every year, whatever, is to beat our rival Chaparral. We've done that 2 times in a row now. I think that's the first time in this school's history that Desert Mountain's football program has ever beat Chaparral 2 years in a row. So, hopefully we'll continue to get back to the grind and fix what we need to fix. And hopefully, when it's time, near the end of the season, that we're fully loaded and we're on track and, we're improving. And that's really what we're all about, is trying to improve every day.
Obviously, it wasn't a perfect game, but you faced adversity. You guys went down a couple times. That late field goal put you up, and the defensive stop got you to win it. But what did you really like from last night that you're going to take into Cactus on Thursday?
Well, number one, just to respond and not, blinking at the adversity that they faced a little bit. I think that was the first time we were challenged this year. We knew that was going to happen here moving forward with the rest of our schedule. Every opponent's going to have an opportunity to really compete and beat us if we're not on our A game. So I think that's really the most thing, is the coach's response as far as making halftime adjustments and coming out whenever and having a quality game plan on how to attack their defense and just continuing to play hard and give effort. There were some missed tackles out there. There were penalties. We had things that didn't go our way, but at the end of the day, we made enough plays to win the game, and that's what matters right now. Whatever. Again, it's always good, to have a lot of things that you feel like you can finger point to improve on. But when you're 3-0, I think it helps, from that standpoint also.
Now, obviously, the running game's been big for you guys, and the receiving too. How much has it meant to get both your big guys and Dylan Tapley and Jack Freebird involved throughout the year?
Yeah, I mean, those guys are excellent players, right? I mean, Dylan's hard to stop. We're either throwing the ball deep or catching the ball, in the red zone. Right? He does a good job. I thought, a guy that we need to get the ball a lot more to, in my opinion, with his big body and his, his exceptional ball catching skills, whatever, is Dylan Hip. I thought he had one of his more productive nights for us last night since he's been a Desert Mountain Wolf. I thought he did some good things on defense as well. We're trying to get him back to full health. He had been nursing a hamstring probably the last month or so. But I thought he did a good job. Again, Brady is doing a good job with being efficient and getting the ball to the playmakers when we need it. And, I think in the second half, we realized that, hey, our offense is built around running the football, and everything comes off of running the football with our play action, whether it's our nakeds or our RPO game and things of that nature, and it'll open up. So, again, made some strides. We need to improve. We need to be better. I think our team is capable of scoring more than 24 points. This week we scored 24. Last week we only scored 29. So I think we're just waiting to get it all together and start to explode here in the near future.
All right, last question before we got to let you go. Thank you for your time. Just going into the 5A schedule coming up, what do you really want to press on the team to really focus on going into that? You got Horizon coming up in a couple weeks. You got Cactus Shadows coming up. What do you want to see from the team?
Well, right now, whatever, we're not even looking that far ahead. We're going to clean up. We're in here working out, lifting. We're going to do our little flush run, come in and clean up and fix, what we need to fix from the game last night against Chaparral, who, again, was definitely a worthy opponent. I think they're going to have some of the better skill players in the state of Arizona here moving forward. Plas Johnson was incredible last night. I know ASU's lucky to get that kid. I mean, they featured him in the backfield or played him on defense late, whatever, an outstanding player. Then the young quarterback for them, is the beast. Once he puts everything together, all right, tough to handle running around last night and doing some stuff. But for us, it's about Cactus. It's about focusing on the next opponent, all right, putting this one aside and then getting ready to play the state runner-up from last year. I know we beat them at home 29-6 the first game of the year, so we have some familiarity with them. But, I know they're going to be chomping at the bit to get us at their place this year, so we got to focus on that. We're going to take one game at a time. I don't think we're really worried about the Horizons and the Cactus Shadows of the world. We look at their schools and see what they're doing, but, when it's time slotted to play those guys, we'll be ready. Otherwise, we're going to focus on our next opponent, and that's it.
Coach Conrad Hamilton of the Desert Mountain Wolves, thank you for joining us on this Saturday morning, Coach.
Thank you, sir. You bet.
We got a lot of time left, a lot of segments still to come. The Wolves have one of the toughest schedules in the state the rest of the way, and we'll get a chance to talk about a lot of those teams throughout the rest of this season. For that, though, Shea Garrett has more for the Varsity Sports Show.
I'm Shea Garrett with the Varsity Sports Show. It's been well documented that the game of pickleball is sweeping the nation, but there may not be a better place in the country for this growing craze than right here in the Arizona desert. Arizona is home to the first ever pickle mall located inside the Arizona Mills Shopping Center in Tempe. What were once empty stores have been turned into brand new 16-court pickleball facilities, giving Arizonans the chance to stay active while avoiding the brutal summer heat. More pickle malls are scheduled to open throughout the country later this year, but this is just further proof that State 48 is on the cutting edge of this growing sport. There's more options across the valley for the whole family, including the recently opened Chicken and Pickle restaurant in Glendale. This indoor-outdoor entertainment complex has one simple goal: provide a lively atmosphere centered around fun, friendship, and community. At Chicken and Pickle, you're able to reserve a pickleball court and then grab a bite to eat inside the restaurant. There's also cornhole, ping pong, and more, but the fact that this restaurant is built around pickleball is just a sign of how demanding the sport is currently in Arizona. Think you're good enough to hang out with the pros? Pickleball has reached such prominence that there is even a professional organization, Major League Pickleball, that features an Arizona franchise. The AZ Drive, backed by investors such as Devin Booker, Michael Phelps, Larry Fitzgerald, and Dierks Bentley, compete in this 12-team professional league. If pickleball is the thing to do, then Arizona might just be the place to do it. With the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Shea Garrett.
Hey everyone, this is Aaron Nemiroff reporting with the Varsity Sports Show. Arizona State football has a great matchup this week against Oklahoma State. ASU enters this one 1-0 following their victory against Southern Utah last week. Despite being 35-point favorites, ASU only managed to pull out a 24-21 win, which included a 2-hour lightning delay. Freshman quarterback Jaden Rashada looked good in his debut. He completed 18 passes in 31 attempts for 236 yards and 2 touchdowns. The play of the night came on a 4th and 8. Rashada went deep to Xavier Guillory for a 47-yard touchdown to put ASU up 14-7. ASU went with a dual rushing attack in the win. Cameron Scatabo carried the ball 17 times for 71 yards, while DeCarlos Brooks carried it 12 times for 63 yards. Scatabo also had 4 receptions for 41 receiving yards, giving him over 132 all-purpose yards on the night. As for this coming matchup, odds makers have the Sun Devils as 3.5-point underdogs. Oklahoma State is coming off of a 27-13 victory against Central Arkansas. As of September 6th, Oklahoma State has still not named a starting quarterback. In their first game, it was a combination of Alan Bowman, Garrett Range, and Gunnar Gundy. All 3 performed well enough to earn a second chance in the competition. Oklahoma State also used a variety of running backs. They had 3 different running backs with 6 or more carries. They also managed to get a variety of receivers involved. 4 different Sooners had 5 or more receptions against Central Arkansas. Oklahoma State has a ton of different weapons, which could be a challenge for the Sun Devil defense. This exciting matchup takes place at Mountain America Stadium in Tempe, 7:30 tonight. For the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Aaron Nemiroff.
This is Wolter-Sanchez here with your Scottsdale Sport Report, covering something slightly different in the Scottsdale Unified Sports area, badminton. Badminton is a classic game filled with birdies, courts, and serving. The traditional sports that dawn on SUSD each fall are golf, cross-country, swim, football, cheer, and volleyball, but this year both Chaparral and Saguaro High School have a badminton team. Both teams are girls only as of now, with 8 on the roster for Saguaro and 9 on the roster for Chaparral. Saguaro is number 1 in Division II Northwest with 4 wins and 1 loss so far this year. Chaparral is also in Division II Northwest with 4 wins and 0 losses as of now. Not many schools in Arizona offer badminton, but there's no doubt the sport is growing like crazy, not only in Arizona, but worldwide. Hopefully this means a brighter future for badminton in the district, with more teams being formed at other high schools and middle schools down the road. This is Ella Wolter-Sanchez for the Varsity Sports Show, signing off.
Check out the Doug Gottlieb Show, Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 p.m., right here on KDUS AM 1060.
Hi, this is Mike from Beachin' with Beal, and you're listening to the Varsity Sports Show.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. With an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat. Hey guys, Vince here. I'd like to introduce you to my friend Eric Perry. He owns Eco Roofing Solutions. They're local and a big supporter of high school sports all over Arizona. Yes, they're statewide.
A little bit about me and Eco Roofing Solutions and what we're about. I'm a third-generation roofer here in Arizona, and I've been doing this for 25 years.
Call Eric and his team at Eco Roofing Solutions, 480-695-7736, and they'll give you a fast, free, no-nonsense estimate. Tell them Vince sent you.
This is Saguaro SaberCat football coach Zak Hill, and you're listening to the home of SaberCat football, the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS, Arizona.
Bringing you the latest sports topics weekly right here on KDUS, AM 1060 with me, the Doug Gottlieb Show, 1 to 3 p.m.
You're listening to the SaberCat Report with our dad, Coach Zak Hill, on the Varsity Sports Show.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show. I'm here with the lovely Brian Secor, Bobby Murphy, Stephen Buxton. And today we have the SaberCat Report with head coach Zak Hill. How you doing, Zak Hill?
I'm doing good. You know, it's Saturday after a tough one, but we're in good spirits and ready to get after another week.
Yeah, great game between you and the Basha Bears where they escaped with the win 35-31. You know, you guys haven't experienced a lot of adversity and deficits so far early in the season, but that Basha game was sort of like jumping into cold water right there. How do you feel like your team responded to the deficit early as you guys fell 21-7 in the first half?
I thought they responded well. You know, I mean, after looking at the film, and obviously we had some penalties that took us out of some drives offensively. You know, that hurt us in critical situations and took us out of some points. But I thought our guys responded well. I thought they felt like they were going to win that game the whole way through, and the attitude, the energy was good on the field and on the sideline. And you know, it's just one of those games where it's back and forth. And Basha has a great team. We got a great team. It's two good teams battling it out.
Yeah, after you guys fell down 21-7, you guys responded to 17 unanswered points, and a huge part of that was Mason Bray and Jaden Matthews. What have you been seeing from them the first 3 weeks of the season that really has impressed you?
Yeah, they're both playing tough and two good playmakers. Jaden did a good job, not only in the run game but in the pass game. Caught a few, screens and things to the flat and took some big runs in there. And Mason's just playing really tough too. I mean, he's making throws and he can extend plays really well and converted a few third downs with his legs. He'll throw his body out there. I almost want him to slide a little bit more than he does, but he's a competitor and been a great playmaker and a great leader for us.
Yeah, he showcased a lot of that leg strength and leg speed last night. But I want to talk a little bit about the defense here. You know, in the first half, it seemed like Damon Williams for Basha was really running all over. But then at the beginning of the second half, you guys seemed to stun him. What were you guys doing differently to really hold him back right there?
Yeah, he's a tough quarterback to contain. You know, he's a big threat, and he's extremely explosive. And it's gonna, no matter what you do, I think he's going to get loose, and he's going to have his plays and make his yards. And they hit some big third downs, with him scrambling around too. So it's a tough weapon that our defense has to deal with in that game. Second half, I think we got some players back, in the second half, which allowed us to get into some different fronts and hopefully that ended up throwing them off a little bit. I think we got 2 3-and-outs right off the bat, which allowed us to kind of get back into the game and get some points on the board, too, and turn it into a little bit more of a battle. But I thought our defense responded in the second half, making a couple adjustments, and then and then Basha kind of made some adjustments, and it's that type of game, where you're trying to figure each other out, and but obviously they ended up doing a little bit more than we did.
And also, you touched on it earlier, and we talked about it last night, but penalties were a big part of you guys' struggle. A lot of third down penalties that really put you guys back. What do you guys need to do to clean that up?
Yeah, I mean, there was 1 or 2 that were questionable that kind of took us out of drives. But it went a couple unforced errors, with a false start. I think we were just a little light on the cadence, and guys couldn't hear Mason very well. And then, we've got, I think, the one holding call at the end, that last drive where we hit the big run with Jaden down the sideline. That ended up getting called back and put us in a bad situation for, that last drive in the game. then the 1-2 where we ended up kind of running a quarterback sneak with our tight end. We got a motion, two guys in motion at the same time, penalty, so unforced error there. That was a little questionable, but that ended up taking points off the board, and we had to settle for a field goal. So, but a couple of things that we got to clean up, and we got to be more disciplined and detailed in what we're doing, and hopefully able to put more points on the board.
Obviously, after a loss, it's hard, especially after a first loss of the season. It's hard to emotionally prepare yourself for next week. But how are you and the guys responding to the loss? Are you guys ready for next week? How are you guys looking?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're cleaning it up today. I talked to the guys after the game just about, hey, this is football, and we got to come together, and this has got to make us tighter. We got to use this as motivation, going into next week and through the season. We learn from it, but from a culture standpoint, this has got to make us tighter so we trust each other and keep working for each other. And this can be a good learning lesson, early in the year. And it doesn't take us away from any of our goals. We still have, all our goals are intact. So now it's just moving forward and learning and then, becoming tighter as a team.
Thank you, Coach Hill. I appreciate the time. That has been the SaberCat Report. I'll throw it back to Ryan.
Yeah, it was Zak Hill, the head coach of Saguaro football. His first year, his first loss, a really tough one in a state title rematch from a season ago. Little under a half an hour to go on KDUS AM 1060. You're listening to the Varsity Sports Show. Up next, we've got Lucas Metzner. Aaron, take it away.
The Arizona State Sun Devils have completed their first football game in the Kenny Dillingham era, and it was certainly one to remember. I'm Lucas Metzner with the story. The inaugural season with Kenny Dillingham at the helm started off in a very interesting way. The Sun Devils were up on Southern Utah 14-7 late in the second quarter when an intense dust storm rolled into the stadium. Arizona State scored a touchdown in the middle of the dust storm with just seconds left in the first half, but leading 21-7 at halftime, the game was postponed and resumed hours later. ASU escaped, winning 24-21, but Coach Dillingham noted the strong student attendance before the inclement weather. He stated that the Sun Devils need more of a strong student attendance and overall attendance to create a true home field advantage and competitive advantage against opposing teams. The Sun Devils host the Oklahoma State Cowboys in a blackout game. Kickoff is tonight at 7:30 p.m. at Mountain America Stadium. For the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Lucas Metzner.
This is Coach Perrone from My Recruits, and you're listening to the Varsity Sports Show segment of the Aztec Report with head coach Jake Barro.
We're back here live inside the studio, Hubbard Radio Studio in Phoenix, Arizona. Ryan Sikora, Stephen Buxton, Bobby Murphy, and Tanner Tortorella on the Varsity Sports Show. Joined now by Corona del Sol Aztecs head coach Jake Barro. Coach Barro, happy Saturday.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
And Coach Barro, his team off to a 1-2 start, playing maybe two of the toughest opponents you can have in 3 of the first weeks of the season. They lost last night 57-27 to Pinnacle. Did you learn a lot about your team despite a 30-point performance in the loss?
Well, it's kind of been the story the last 2 weeks, or last 3 weeks, really. We've learned what we need to fix. We've played some really good opponents, and that's helpful early on in the season because it starts to expose some of the things that you need to fix as a football team. And we've gotten plenty of that, and we know what we're lacking and what we need to fix, and it's just a matter of stepping up and taking care of that over the next few weeks. But we're going to be okay. We feel good about it. I know our players are going to step up and do what they need to do.
Coach Barro, Stephen Buxton, senior here at Crockett. Obviously, you said you knew what It shows what you have to fix. Obviously, a really tough schedule to open up the year. But is there anything you really liked from last night that you could take and emphasize going into Chandler next week?
Well, the players didn't quit. We played hard. And then we showed flashes of being an explosive offense at times. And it's just going to kind of be a matter of us putting that together and being a little more consistent. But I was happy with some of the things we showed in certain points of the game last night. We just need to be more consistent.
Hey, Coach, Bobby Murphy here, senior at Cronkite. So your offense this season, it's really a pass-heavy offense with Connor Ackerley at quarterback, along with Raiden Vinesbright and Zuri Glenn as the top receivers. But, yeah, with this pass-heavy offense, what have you liked so far from what you've seen with this offense, and what do you want to see pretty much for the rest of the season?
Yeah, we like to throw the ball. Everybody knows that. It's not a secret. We're one of the premier air raid offenses in Arizona, probably the most. Because we have the guys to do it. We're able to put 4 explosive receivers on the field at any time. Connor does a nice job kind of being a point guard in the offense, getting the ball out. He's getting better each week. And what I've probably liked the most, what stood out to me the most is our protection. The offensive line has done a great job. And sometimes in an offense like this, you're spreading the ball around. Your receivers are getting a lot of the attention for being explosive. Your quarterback gets a lot of the attention for the high numbers he puts up. But the offensive line, they're always kind of the unsung heroes of the offense, because in order to do this and run this kind of system, you have to protect really well. And they've done a very good job of that through 3 weeks. They're only getting better, and I've really been happy with what they've done so far.
Hey, Coach, this is Tana Tortorella. Obviously, you guys are playing tough competition, but back-to-back games allowing 50-plus points, obviously not ideal. What do you think the defense needs to do at a base level to really improve that next week?
Yeah, it really doesn't matter who you're playing. If you're giving up 50-plus points, it's a problem. So we just need to settle down. We need to play assignment football. We need to do our jobs and do it a little bit better. Tackling has been an issue over the last 2 weeks, something we need to address. We need to be better sure tacklers. But it's not, it's not like it's something we're incapable of. We just need to really tighten the screws and get better at doing our individual assignments so that we can come together more as a whole defense.
Coach Barro, I guess the only other one we've really got up here is you look at the rest of the schedule. It's tough the rest of the way. It does not get any easier. You've got Chandler this week, South Point Catholic's on there, Mountain Point, Brophy's really good, Castile, and then even Marcos Deniza and Desert Vista can get the job done on a given night. With the 2 losses out of the first 3 games of the season, has the end goal for the season shifted at all in any way, or is it still focused on just kind of being as good as you can be every Friday night?
Yeah, no, the goals haven't changed at all. We understand the schedule in front of us. We understand we're going to be, tested quite a bit more than we were last year. And so the goal going into the season was, last year's team did a great job, tremendous job by the seniors last year. We were able to go 8-2 in the regular season, but then we lost in the first round of the playoffs, right? And we felt that was partly because we just weren't, battle tested enough during the regular season. And so now we have this schedule, which we want. We welcome. We're happy to play this level of competition week in and week out. And we're aware. The regular season record may not be as good as it was last year, but we're going to step up and hopefully be in a better position come playoff time. So the goal right now is just to get in the playoffs. We need to win enough to get in the playoffs, and then from there you kind of reset, refocus, and try to make a run at this thing. And we feel like we are definitely still in a good position to do that.
Coach Jake Barro of the Corona del Sol Aztecs, a 1-2 start this year. Thank you for joining us here today early in the morning, Coach Barro.
Yep, thank you guys. See you next week.
Well, only 15 minutes to go here on KDUS AM 1060. Most of the interviews are done, but we're not quite home yet. Last segment on its way when we come back on KDUS AM 1060.
morning drive just got a little better. The Dan Patrick Show is live weekday morning starting at 6 exclusively on KDUS AM 1060.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bennett Solomon, and I'm a senior journalism student at the University of Florida. I'm thrilled to be joining the Varsity Sports Show, and I'll be providing local sports coverage in Florida. You can find me on Twitter at B_Solly11, and I can't wait to get started.
Coaches, the Varsity Sports Show wants to be part of your team in 2023. We have a proven track record of providing the most coverage of your teams with Thursday and Friday night football. We will spotlight your players with multi-camera game broadcasts, pre- and post-game interviews, and segments on our Saturday morning radio show. With over 100 games broadcast in 2022, we will be exceptional for your team. Call, text, or email 480-220-4629 or info@varsitysportshow.com.
Hey, this is Ralph Farrell, Carefree's #1 sports enthusiast, and want to tell you about a new radio show that's really hitting the spot. The Varsity Sports Show, which takes care of everything from high school, junior high school, college, community college sports. You got to listen to it. It's on 1060 AM, Arizona. No? Yes?
Hey football fans, this is the Rooster, and I'm giving away prizes. So join me this Sunday during the Packers game at Casey Jones Grill, located in Phoenix on 20th Street and Bell Road.
.47 local time in Phoenix, Arizona, here at the Hubbard Radio Studio. KDUS AM 1060, the Varsity Sports Show. Ryan Secor, Stephen Buxton, Tanner Tortorella, Bobby Murphy. It's time for the GCU Club Report. We are joined today by Tim Merhoff, the GCU Club men's soccer coach. Coach Merhoff, pleasure to be with you today.
I'm well. How are you guys?
We're doing great. You know, we finally woke up. It took us about an hour and a half once we started at 8 to kind of get into it, but you caught us at the right time.
That's perfect. I'm already like 7 cups in right now.
What are we drinking? How many? What's the order?
Just straight black coffee.
I guess.
About 5 in the morning and finish at about 7 o'clock tonight.
Oh, Coach, if that's just black coffee, 7, that's rookie numbers.
Well, no, it's a 40-ounce cup.
Oh, okay.
Stephen takes that back.
All
right, Coach. I guess we wanted to start off by saying thank you for being with us here today. And I guess the overall early theme as you get ready to start the 2023 season with GCU Club Soccer.
It's numbers. We actually hit 100 registered yesterday. It's been fantastic out there. We started training a couple days ago. Our first games are the next Friday and Saturday with 6 games.
And just to clarify, that's 100 players that have come out to participate this year. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, that's correct. 100 registered.
How much more is that than you usually are able to attract?
It is about exactly where we were last year.
Okay. When you look at that number, does that create a unique challenge? Because most of the coaches around the country are getting, at the club level, maybe 25, 30 guys, 40 at most. Does that create a unique challenge for you as the man who's in charge of the program?
It does, but it also gives us an opportunity to look into different things. My staff and I, different opportunities for different games, finding different teams to play. It's a great problem to have, is what we continue to say.
It's a great problem to have, Coach, with all those bodies, to have a bunch of buy-in like that. You guys are just under a week away, 6 days away from your opener against New Mexico State. How have you been prepping the guys for that?
We literally just started 2 days ago, so as of in an hour and a half, we are going to put that first team together and start training. We've got 3 practices before that game. But, it's a group of kids that have already kind of played together, so they're pretty much intact. It's just executing on the field.
Hey, Coach, Tanner Tortorella here. You talk about the chemistry there. Is there anybody that really stands out that have really shown out, last year or coming into this year, and how they've really blended it together as a team?
Yeah, we have our club president, Colin Michaels. He actually had an opportunity to work with the D1 program over the summer at an ID camp, and hopefully gets a chance to go in the spring and work out with them. Aiden Schwanke, same thing. He worked with them in the spring last year. This entire first team, I could keep going. This entire first team is just put together to hopefully make a serious run this year.
Hey, Coach, Bobby Murphy here, senior at Cronkite. So you yourself, as a Phoenix native, how does it feel to still be, just around coaching a team so close to your hometown?
It's actually pretty cool. I actually had a small opportunity to come here in 1990, but was unable to physically by then to play. And it was, just a lot of dirt. And to see this place grow is just absolutely amazing. The growth of the school. My daughter actually graduates in December from here. So I picked this school before I even had an opportunity to coach here, for her to come here.
Coach, you said you had a bunch of returners from last year, and you were 6-4-2 last year, but you lost in pool play in the Nationals tournament. What do you really like from the team coming back? What do you see as like upside going that could get you over the hump in that?
Just that first experience of making it there. Making it there the way we did isn't how we wanted to get there. We saw what that first seed was able to do to make it to that next round, and just prepare more. And that's all it's going to take. The chemistry. We've come off a couple hard years. This team they're just more prepared. It's the experience that we had, and getting that number one seed is the most important thing, and that's our number one way to get to nationals.
Coach, you look at the schedule the rest of the way. I mean, you start with New Mexico State, and then the Sunday, pretty much a week from today, Arizona State at home, and then you go on a couple of trips. You go up to Flagstaff, down to Tucson. You go to San Diego for a tournament. Is that what that looks like there? What's the big game or schedule or moment of the season that you guys are looking forward to the most?
It's those first 5 games. Those first 5 games are all conference games for that first team to decide whether or not we even make it to regionals. And then it's going to be a great when obviously. We get to that Aztec Cup. It's pretty cool. We have an opportunity to play UCLA on one of the games on a Friday night. And that we're going to actually use that Aztec Cup to fine-tune everything. And 2 weeks later, we go to Colorado for nationals.
I guess, I don't know. I don't have much else to talk about. Is there, I guess, a key player for you guys that you think is going to take a jump this year or maybe come back into form that's going to help you guys get to that jump that you guys want to make?
It is definitely Colin Michaels. The amount that he has grown over the last 2 years and the leadership role that he has taken, he is going to be a major part of this team. But I leaving it to one person is not the way this team's going to be built.
Coach, you're in your second year at the reins, but it's your third year overall with the program. Obviously, last year was pretty good, but you said 2021 was a tougher year. You guys were 5-5-2. What's really been the growth overall of the team since then? I know there's going to be a lot of turnover in that time, but what have you seen since then from the guys who are still around?
It really is. It's the growth of the program itself. Starting at the top here in the office, right? All the administration, all of our help, all of our GAs, the support, anything I need, I'm pretty much given from GCU. The support that we are given in club sports is amazing. And I was able to hire a Coach Isaac. He is now coaching the first team. So the addition of him has made an incredible difference technically on that field.
All right, Coach, thank you for being with us here today. Coach Tim Nemiroff of the GCU Club men's soccer team.
Thank you, guys.
That was the GCU Club Report, and that should pretty much wrap us up for anything in studio. Stick around. We've got our best segment of the night. JR's Texas Tales is going to come up after this. Guys, before we toss to that and before we say our goodbyes, what was the standout experience here today for you guys?
I just love talking to all the coaches, getting their insight. Obviously we covered, I think they said 7 games last night. So being able to talk to the majority of the games that we covered, all those coaches get their insight was really fun for me. Let's go to Bobby.
Yeah, for me, I mean, same as Tanner, talking to the coaches is always very nice. Great to have them on. But yeah, for me, it's just good experience. First time actually co-hosting a radio show, so that was very exciting for me and a good first step.
You know, it's been a good time all year with Varsity. Obviously, in the radio, it's great to finally be awake at 9:55. It only took me about 2 hours. But yeah, it was just a really good time to be here with you guys, be in the studio, and I'm looking forward to it again.
Appreciate everybody who turned in and watched and listened to us here today. Thank you to Tanner Tortorella, Bobby Murphy, Stephen Buxton. I've been Ryan Sikora. Thank you to our contributors today, Aaron Nemiroff, Chloe Van Lankveld, Ella Wolter-Sanchez, and our guest today, Saguaro head coach Zak Hill, Horizon coach Andy Litten, Corona coach Jake Barro, Brophy coach Jason Jewell, Jeff Alba from Arcadia Football, Crismon flag football coach Jason Hall, Desert Mountain coach Conrad Hamilton, of course GCU Club men's soccer coach Tim Merhoff, Las Vegas play-by-play broadcaster for the Cactus Shadows game this weekend in Ray Fletcher. Please be sure to check out all our archived content on Twitter at Varsity Show, as well as Instagram, Facebook, and even TikTok. We're new to that, thanks to our producer, Aaron Decker. Join us back here next Saturday at 8 a.m. on AM 1060 KDUS, Arizona, the Varsity Sports Show. Now, let's go to J.R. Lambright for JR's Texas Tales.
Christian was born for a passion for rock, and crystal collecting could set the stage for her journey. Her parents' separation led her down a challenging path, seeking solace in an older crowd at Spring Hill High. Transferring to Leverett's Chapel provided a fresh start. Her high school years were marked by academic excellence and sports achievements, including lettering in track and volleyball, and securing a sponsorship for the Miss Texas Teen Pageant. Attending the Kilgore College nursing program with a 3.8 GPA, Christian graduated with an associate degree in applied science, despite surviving a car wreck in which the vehicle collided with a pine tree at 70 miles per hour. Meeting her husband, Ronnie, in Dallas, they returned to Leverett's Chapel for the birth of their son in 2009, thanks to an inheritance from her grandmother. The dearth of boys' stuff at local stores frustrated Christian. In 2020, Christian Gleason Bryan opened Euphoria Botanical in downtown Kilgore, offering candles, soaps, teas, and youth sports gear. Her shop became a judgment-free zone, supporting local skateboarders and hosting events, fostering kindness and a strong sense of community. As Euphoria Botanical approaches its 3rd anniversary, Christian remains dedicated to nurturing her community. Recently, she summed up her life philosophy to her children: "Let your weird light shine bright."
Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show, where our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating an unmatched platform to showcase talent both in front of and behind the microphone in radio, television, podcast, and live streaming. The Varsity Sports Show, still your home for youth, high school, college, and you in Arizona and beyond.
Broadcasting from the Superbook Sports Studios, KTUS AM 1060 Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.